Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have another makeup breakup video for you in that we are talking about marketing buzzwords used by cosmetic companies that are not regulated by the FDA, meaning that anyone can use these words regardless of whether or not their product truly is what they claim to be. So I'm gonna save the best for last, but we're gonna start with a good one. So the first word I wanted to go over is the word cosmeceutical, which is a word that is intended to mean a cosmetic that has drug-like or medicinal-like benefits. The FDA does differentiate between a cosmetic and a drug. A cosmetic is something that is intended to beautify the aesthetic of a person or like the appearance of a person, whereas a drug is specifically intended to change the physiology of a person. So there are two completely different things. So cosmeceutical kind of like rides the line in the middle where it's like technically a cosmetic, but it has drug-like benefits. But I have news in that cosmeceutical is not regulated by the FDA, and so anyone can use the word cosmeceutical to describe their product. So if you see the word cosmeceutical on something and you think, oh wow, that must have really strong benefits to it, keep in mind it's just a marketing buzzword. The second word is the word natural. Nothing to say here besides the fact that the FDA does not regulate the term natural, and so anyone can use the term natural to describe their product, regardless of whether or not it has truly natural ingredients in it. The word organic is a little bit complicated. The FDA and the USDA kind of have differing opinions on what can be deemed organic or not. So the FDA operates under two things: the Federal Food, Drug and Cosmetic Act, or the Fair Packaging and Labeling Act. Those two acts are what the FDA mainly operates under, and organic is not defined in either of those. So the FDA specifically does not regulate the word organic. However, the USDA does, and the USDA has pretty strict guidelines on what can be deemed 100% organic, made with organic ingredients, or not organic. So for example, for something to be called 100% organic, it has to contain purely organic ingredients. If something, for example, has only 95% organic ingredients, then it can only be called organic, not 100% organic. It's pretty intuitive, but you wouldn't really think about it. You would think that 100% organic and organic are the same thing, but they're actually not. So if a cosmetic contains... Are you kidding me? So if a cosmetic contains agricultural ingredients and can meet the USDA organic production, handling, processing, and labeling standards, then it may be eligible to be certified. But in these laws, from what I've seen and what the chatter is about it, there are a lot of loopholes, and also the fines for calling yourself organic when you're not actually organic, the fines are not that steep. And so there is a lot of talk about how companies can get away with calling their stuff organic when it's not actually organic. So just buyer beware. Sephora recently came out with a campaign called Clean Beauty. Clean is not regulated by the FDA. It doesn't mean anything. It's purely just for marketing. And if I do say so myself, clean really has no scientific basis. Products that are clean / natural / good for the environment / green are not necessarily good for your skin. Poison ivy is natural, but ultimately you don't want to be rubbing poison ivy on your face. So the next one is going to upset some people, but the terms cruelty-free or not tested on animals is not regulated by the FDA. There is no regulation behind that, so really anyone can say that their products are cruelty-free when in reality they may not be. And an example of how something can be called cruelty-free but not actually be cruelty-free, besides like obvious lying to the consumer, is if, for example, an ingredient that they use used to be tested on animals and has been tested on animals. So some companies apply these claims of cruelty-free or not tested on animals solely on their finished product. It doesn't include the raw materials. But the thing is that some companies may rely on raw material suppliers that do test their ingredients on animals, but because the company itself, company A, let's say, that's making the finished product, isn't testing on animals, that doesn't necessarily mean that company B, as in the company that's supplying the raw material, doesn't test on animals. It's really up to company A to do their research and make sure that their suppliers and vendors aren't testing on animals in order to truly be cruelty-free. It's also really worth mentioning that a lot of cosmetic ingredients and raw materials were once tested on animals to determine efficacy, safety, and toxicity. So a cosmetic company could call their product cruelty-free based solely on the premise that their current product is not currently tested on animals, but maybe once upon a time, a long time ago, it used to be tested on animals. And my favorite term that I am going to debunk is the word hypoallergenic. Yes, you heard me. The word hypoallergenic is no longer regulated by the FDA. So anyone, including me, your mom, my goldfish, my dog, anyone can call their product hypoallergenic. So a little bit of history lesson here. The FDA used to require comparative testing in order for a company to call their product hypoallergenic. But obviously companies like Clinique and Almay, who make products that are hypoallergenic and that heavily rely on the marketing with the word hypoallergenic, and so the court eventually ruled that this regulation by the FDA was in fact invalid. And so as a result of this ruling, the word hypoallergenic can be used by anyone. So again, buyer beware. Just because something is hypoallergenic or called hypoallergenic, that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be safe for sensitive skin. Now, under the Fair Packaging and Labeling Act, all cosmetics are mandated to list all of their ingredients very clearly on their packaging. So even if something may not be hypoallergenic per se, you can still go through the ingredients list and determine whether or not this product will be safe for your skin or not. So that's my little spiel on marketing buzzwords that are used by cosmetic companies that are not regulated by the FDA. So the next time you're at Sephora and you're looking at products and you see words like natural or cosmeceutical or cruelty-free or hypoallergenic, and you see those terms and you're like, wow, that looks really good, just keep this video in the back of your mind and understand that these terms are not regulated, therefore anyone can use them. They are simply just marketing ploys to hook the buyer in. I want to have a conversation in the comments about marketing ploys used by cosmetic companies. I have done several makeup breakup videos, and this is another one of those. I will continue to do these makeup breakup videos because I think it's really important to be critical when you're a consumer, and so this is something really near and dear to my heart, and of course I will continue doing these videos. So please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching it and if you learned something new. But until my next video, I hope you have a beautiful week, and I'll see you then. Bye!